The Moon Mark. Welcome to the Story King, where every tale binds your heart to the very last word. The Alpha King's hand froze mid-air, his wineglass trembling as the small voice pierced through the grand hall's cacophony. Your Majesty. The little girl couldn't have been more than 5, her copper curls bouncing as she tugged insistently on his sleeve. My mama has the same mark as you. Conversation died like snuffed candles. 200 wolves fell silent, their eyes fixed on the child who had somehow bypassed 12 royal guards to reach the most powerful shifter in the northern hemisphere. Alpha King Dante Blackthorn's wolf surged forward so violently that his eyes flickered between human gray and molten gold, and for the first time in a decade, he lost control of the beast within. Mate, find her, now. His wolf's demand crashed through his mind like a freight train. Dante's fingers clutched the table's edge, splintering the ancient oak as he struggled to restrain the animal clawing beneath his skin. The child stared up at him with eyes the color of spring moss, fearless, innocent, completely unaware that she'd just detonated a bomb in his carefully constructed world. What mark? His voice came out rougher than intended, drawing a protective whimper from several mothers in the crowd. The girl pointed at his neck, where his collar had shifted to reveal the crescent moon birthmark that had cursed him since birth. That one. Mama says it's special. She has it too, right here. She tapped her own shoulder blade. She told me never to tell anyone, but you're the king, so it's okay, right? Dante's heart hammered against his ribs. In 32 years, he'd never encountered another wolf with the matching mark. The prophecy his grandmother had whispered on her deathbed echoed through his mind. When the moon marks two as one, the true mate bond will either save the kingdom or destroy it. Asterisk. He'd searched for years, sent scouts across continents, interrogated every pack. Nothing. And now this child, this impossible little creature, stood before him claiming her mother bore the mark. What's your name? Dante knelt, bringing himself to eye level despite his wolf's frantic pacing. Luna Rose Sterling. She smiled, revealing a missing front tooth. Mama's name is Aria. She makes the best cookies, and she smells like lavender and... Aria Sterling. His beater, Marcus, stepped forward, his face pale. Your Majesty, that name. I know. Dante's jaw clenched. Aria Sterling. The Omega who'd been exiled 5 years ago for allegedly stealing from the royal treasury. The gentle healer he'd personally banished without trial because his uncle, his trusted advisor, had presented irrefutable evidence of her guilt. The same uncle who'd died mysteriously 3 months ago, leaving behind encrypted files that Dante's tech team was still trying to crack. His wolf snarled viciously. We sent our mate away. Where is your mother, Luna Rose? Dante kept his voice soft, though everything in him screamed to tear apart the building until he found her. The girl's smile faltered. She's working. She cleans houses now because no pack will take us. Her small hand clutched his larger one with surprising strength. But she said we could come to the Moon Festival because everyone's welcome tonight, even outcasts. The word, outcast, from such an innocent mouth sent rage blazing through Dante's veins. His mate, because his wolf had no doubt now, had been reduced to a packless Omega, struggling to survive, raising a child alone because of his failure. Marcus, clear the hall. Now. Dante stood, keeping Luna's hand in his. And find Aria Sterling. I want her brought to me immediately, gently. Send female guards. Don't frighten her. Your Majesty, with respect, if she is the exile. She's innocent. The certainty settled in his bones like truth. And she's mine. Luna squeezed his hand. Are you going to hurt Mama? She cries sometimes at night when she thinks I'm asleep. Please don't make her cry more. Something cracked in Dante's chest. He'd built walls around his heart for years, convinced that a king couldn't afford weakness. But this child, speaking of her mother's hidden tears, shattered every defense. I'm going to make it right, he promised, and felt his wolf settle for the first time in years. I'm going to protect both of you. Aria Sterling pressed her back against the kitchen wall, heart thundering as she watched guards flood the festival grounds. Something had happened. Something bad. Her Omega instinct screamed at her to run, to grab Luna and disappear into the woods as she'd done so many times before. But Luna wasn't in the garden where she'd left her. Panic seized Arya's throat. She'd only stepped away for 5 minutes to help the elderly cook carry supplies. 5 minutes, and now guards swarmed everywhere, and her daughter was gone, and... Mama! Arya's head snapped up. Luna burst through the kitchen door, her small hand clasped in a much larger one. A male hand. Arya's eyes traveled up the expensive suit, past the broad shoulders, to the face that haunted both her dreams and nightmares. Alpha King Dante Blackthorn. Her wolf whimpered and surged forward simultaneously, two halves of the same impossible reaction. Run, submit, fight, surrender. Hello, Arya. His voice rolled over her like thunder, and she hated how her body responded, how every cell recognized him despite her mind's desperate protests. She yanked Luna behind her, putting herself between her daughter and the male who'd destroyed her life. Stay away from us, Mama, it's okay. Luna tugged her sleeve. He's nice, and he has your mark. Arya's blood turned to ice. Luna, what did you? I showed him. Luna's voice carried that proud tone children used when they thought they'd done something helpful. I told him about your moon mark. You said it was special, that it meant something important. The kitchen spun. Arya's hand flew to her shoulder, to the mark she'd kept hidden for 5 years, the mark that matched the Alpha King's, the mark that had made her the target of someone's malicious scheme because a true mate bond with the king would upset carefully laid plans. She'd figured it out too late. By the time she'd realized someone had framed her to force her exile, to separate her from Dante before the mate bond could snap into place, she was already packless and pregnant with Luna, her daughter from a previous relationship, before she'd ever laid eyes on the Alpha King. You need to leave. Arya's voice shook. Forget you saw us. Forget the mark. It's better this way. Dante moved with predatory grace, closing the distance despite her defensive stance. His scent, pine and midnight and something uniquely him, wrapped around her, making her Omega purr even as her rational mind screamed warnings. Better. His eyes flashed gold. You've been struggling alone for 5 years. Luna tells me you cry at night. You work as a cleaner when you're trained as a healer. How is any of that better? Better than being dead. The words escaped before she could stop them. Silence crashed down. Luna's hand tightened in hers. Dante's expression transformed from anger to something far more dangerous, understanding. You knew someone was targeting you. That's why you didn't fight the exile. Arya's laugh held no humor. I fought. You didn't listen. You had your evidence, your trusted advisors, your certainty. What's an Omega's word against that? She watched the impact of her words hit him. Watched the Alpha King, the most powerful shifter alive, flinch as though she'd struck him. I was wrong. His voice dropped to a whisper. Arya, I was so profoundly wrong, and I will spend the rest of my life. No, she cut him off, even as her wolf howled in protest. We're fine. We don't need. A crash echoed from the main hall. Glass shattered. Someone screamed. Dante's entire demeanor shifted in a heartbeat. He moved in front of Arya and Luna, his body a shield, his power rolling off him in waves that made every wolf in the vicinity whimper and submit. Marcus burst through the door, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Your Majesty, we're under attack. The evidence we found in your uncle's files, someone doesn't want it revealed. They're here for... His eyes landed on Arya. For her. They know she's back. Dante's wolf surged forward completely, his eyes pure gold, his canines extending. The Alpha King's power filled the room like a physical force, protective and absolutely lethal. Take them to the safe room. His command brooked no argument. Marcus, you guard them with your life. Wait. Arya started. Dante turned, and for one moment, she saw past the king to the man beneath. His hand cupped her face with devastating gentleness, his thumb brushing her cheekbone. I failed you once. I won't do it again. His lips brushed her forehead, the touch sending electricity through her entire body, the mate bond sparking to life with enough force to steal her breath. Stay safe, Arya. When this is over, we have 5 years to discuss. And Luna, he crouched to the little girl's level. Keep your mama safe for me. Luna nodded solemnly. Will you come back? I promise. He stood, his expression hardening as he faced the doorway. No one threatens what's mine. Marcus ushered them through a hidden panel as the sounds of battle intensified. Arya looked back once, watching Dante stride toward the chaos, every inch the Alpha King, powerful and deadly, and hers in ways that terrified her. The safe room door sealed shut. Luna climbed into her lap, and Arya held her daughter close, listening to the muffled sounds of fighting, her heart racing with fear and something else, something that felt dangerously like hope. Minutes crawled past like hours. Then the sounds stopped. Silence pressed down, thick and suffocating. Luna had fallen asleep against her shoulder when the safe room door finally opened. Arya tensed, ready to fight with everything she had. But it was Dante who stood there, blood spattered but whole. His eyes found hers immediately, and the relief in them nearly undid her. It's over. He stepped inside, his massive frame filling the doorway. The traitors are captured, the conspiracy exposed. You're safe now, both of you. Arya should have felt relief. She did feel relief, but she also felt the mate bond humming between them, saw the way he looked at her, at him, like they were precious beyond measure. There's something you should know, she whispered, her hand instinctively protective over Luna's sleeping form. Luna isn't. She's not yours biologically. Her father was. I don't care. The fierce certainty in his voice silenced her protests. She's yours, which makes her mine. If you'll have me, if you'll let me spend the rest of our lives proving I'm worthy of a second chance. He knelt before her, this powerful Alpha King, humbling himself before an Omega he'd wronged. The gesture broke something loose in Arya's chest, something she'd kept locked away for 5 years. The mark, she breathed. It means you're my true mate. My Luna, my salvation. His hand covered hers where it rested on Luna's back. But more than that, it means I'm yours, if you want me. Before Arya could respond, Luna stirred, her sleepy voice cutting through the tension. Does this mean we can live in the castle, and have cookies whenever we want? Dante's laugh rumbled through the small space, rich and genuine. Yes, little one, all the cookies you want. But as Arya met his eyes, feeling the mate bond settle into place with a rightness that terrified and exhilarated her, she noticed his expression shift. His gaze flicked to something behind her, to the shadows in the corner of the safe room, and his smile faltered. Dante, she whispered. What's wrong? He stood slowly, his body tensing, his protective instincts flaring. Arya, when did Luna say she told you about the moon mark? What? She never told me anything. I've kept my mark hidden since. The implication hit her like a fist. She'd never told Luna about the mark. No one knew. She'd been so careful. Luna's eyes opened, but they weren't the innocent moss green anymore. They glowed with an ancient amber light that no 5-year-old should possess. Oh, Mama, her daughter said in a voice that wasn't quite her own, the moon goddess has been waiting such a long time for you two to finally meet. But now that you have, the real prophecy can begin. The child smiled, and in that smile was the weight of destiny, and a warning that everything they thought they knew was about to change. This has been the Story King, where legends come alive and destinies unfold. Subscribe for more tales that will leave you breathless.